without further ado, I'd like to introduce somebody very special to us, very dear to us in the forum. She was with us celebrating one of our sessions 2 weeks ago. Her name is Yogita. She comes from India, and she's the founder of Storyteller Circle with over 18 years of training teachers, educators, corporate leaders in the sector. And she's here today to bless us with a very special connection, to create community together, and help us break some ice and help us connect at a deeper level, not just through words, but through our emotions. So welcome, Yogita, again. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for having me over one more time on your forum. It's a pleasure. I enjoyed my time the last time when I was here telling stories and interacting with each one of you. Today I'm here for a very short time just to be a part of the community and to help us get started. So Andrea, if I may request you to stop share, and can I have everybody in the gallery view? That would be great. If you could just do the stop share.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Yes, now I can see everyone. So hello, hi Heather. Lovely to see you again. Okay, great. So let's get started. No, so as Andrea said that it's not words. I'm not going to use too many words. I'm going to make us use some parts of our body and feel the connections. So everybody just wave with your hands at me. Let me see you present in every way. Thank you. And now I'm going to give you a little word and action. Dhup tak, 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 dhup tak. Do you get the words? It's dhup tak, dhup tak, dhup tak. Can we just go on unmute and let's just use the words together.
Yogita, should we all unmute then so that we can hear each other? If everyone can unmute, that would be excellent.
Yes, let's create that. Right. Okay, so let me just get started. Dhup tak, dhup dhup tak, dhup tak, dhup dhup tak, dhup tak, dhup tak, dhup tak. Okay, don't worry if you don't get, that's a little Indian way of saying it, but it's just music. Dhup tak, dhup tak, dhup tak. That's a little tongue twister. Wonderful, very nice. So now we're going to do this with hands, and later on we move on to do some, I'm going to add another layer. So now when I say dhup tak, dhup tak, so follow me, okay? And you can speak a little slowly because there is a time lag. So I don't want, you can go on unmute, you can go on mute and do it at your end. Okay, so just follow me. Dhup tak, dhup tak, dhup tak, dhup tak, faster. Wonderful. And now, if you see, I have some little drum here. I'm going to play the drum, and you're going to, since you don't have a drum, you will use your hands and this part again, doing the same thing. And when I go faster, you join faster with me. When I go slower, go slow. Okay? Are we ready? Okay.
Everybody.
So just give me a minute. Let me give the background. Okay. All right. So it goes like this. You will use your body percussion and hands. Okay. I'm going to use the drums.
Yogita, just to clarify, are we all on mute or are we all unmuted?
I would suggest half of you go on mute and the other half so few of you, maybe Diego, Dina, Hitesh, Priscilla, Heather, I am sorry, I don't want to mispronounce your name, Renata. If you can go on unmute, and maybe Belen there, go on unmute. Rest of us can be on mute, and then we'll take turns. Okay, all right. So how do we go? 1, 2, 3, start. Wonderful. Give yourself a pat on your back. Lovely. Okay. So should we have the other half now go on unmute and the first half go on mute so that we can hear the others as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Want to
Now,
yeah.
Great. So thank you, Andrea. So now what you're going to do is, while you are doing this, look at one person or two people in the group and smile at them. Give them your flash at them, your beautiful smile, and get going with that. While you're doing this, let's all smile at each other. Share the smile. Okay? Let's not be very serious this morning. All right. So 1, 2, 3, start. Wow, amazing. That was a wonderful beginning, and thank you so much for doing this. And while I was doing this with you, I could see you all smile, and that's probably the best gift we can give to all of each other while we're trying to build a community together. You know, so I like combining drum circle with my music and so drums with my storytelling. So today I thought, let me not bring the stories, let me do this little drum piece with all of you on Andrea's request. So I hope you enjoyed this and you could share your experience. And Andrea, back over to you.
Thank you very much, Yogita, for that warm welcome to all of the participants in the forum, to our friends, our dear friends that are returning, and to the newcomers. It's certainly a great way to inspire our beginning session and to lead us in this way whereby we connect more than through words and images, also through a deeper aspect, which is about connecting through our emotions. And we know from the past few months what we've been living online, connecting and engaging through our emotion becomes very, very significant in terms of having everybody on board and feeling a part of, feeling like we are belonging. So welcome again to the forum.
Thank you.
This morning, for some in Mexico, Colombia, all the way down in Tierra del Fuego, Belén, people all the way in India, good night, good evening to you. Our friends from Finland, our friends from Spain, our friends from Shanghai. We have a visitor from Shanghai today. Wow. It's Miss Christy, yes? Miss Christy O'Brien.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
I am so excited that you were able to come, and do apologize profusely knowing that you are about 13 hours ahead of us and it's almost Cinderella midnight chiming time for you. And thank you for coming to enlighten us with your perspectives from across the globe. And a very special thanks to Yogita. I know you won't be able to stay with us throughout, but we bid you a good evening as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All of you have a lovely day and a lovely meeting ahead. Andrea has done some lot of hard work, and I'm sure you guys are going to love this time. It is lovely to see all, some of the faces that I saw 2 weeks ago. But while I say goodbye to all of you, I wish you all the very best and a lot of love and happiness to each one of you. God bless you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you, Yogita. God bless you too. Anyway, it's exciting, and Yogita has taught us something, that sometimes when you bring an element of the unexpected or a surprise, how much more we are open in our minds and in our hearts to engage with each other. And we know this because we work with students every day, and our staff, our teachers, our parents, certainly. So I hope you enjoyed that. And now, to launch our session, just a few practical aspects about encouraging you to leave your video on so we can connect again on a more personal level. Our microphone's off, but please do unmute yourself when you're going to share. And we also encourage the use of the chat bar for different times in the session when we will welcome your comments. Of course, all throughout, but specifically when we pause to have a reflection together. We will also be using breakout rooms today as we are crafting our skill in using Zoom. It's become one of our favorite features. So know that we're headed in that direction to be able to facilitate the dialogue between you today. More than a presentation or a lecture, it's definitely the intention to set the tone for dialogue. So a little bit about us and where we've come from and the reason for this forum. My name is Andrea Ferrari. As you know, I'm the founder of Host Schools International, and our mission here is really to work side by side with the schools all across the globe, specifically now in Mexico, Colombia, and Latin America, to empower these educational institutions. How? Well, through our best practices, our international programs. The global educators that work with us are experts in certifications, accreditations, very much so to do with well-being at the heart. Our international programs have to rely heavily on the factor of well-being in order to touch our students and transform these students into leaders that will transform society, yes? So competitiveness is also at the heart of every relationship that we have with schools in order to create the best situation for being very present and very, very much so alive in the educational sector. So a little bit about us. Gabriela, my colleague here on the other end, and I and the founder of Host Schools, Jorge Ferrari, envisioned creating this forum as a space where we can all come together and share and face the different challenges through this pandemic, yes? And we know that you're here with us today for that very reason, how to look forward to the new year ahead. A little bit about myself. I was born in Brazil, raised by Argentine parents, a little bit of a global student, IB student, who had experiences growing up in Africa, in United States and Mexico and Chile. So I'm very fond of Latin America and our partners down there. A mission-driven leader, yes, and my forte is creativity and innovation. I'm an artist at heart, as you can see, a painter, a pianist, and a proud mother of 3 girls. I give it over now to my colleague Gabriela, who is co-hosting today. Gabriela, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Well, we're very excited to have this forum. We've been having these forums every 2 weeks, and we've heard from different persons about different things, how we can, approach this difficult time. And well, we're really excited to finish it off with this activity today. And telling you a little bit about myself, I've been 30 years of experience as a teaching, 15 years as a pedagogical leader. I've been an educator. I did a specialty in Harvard of school leadership, which obviously reignited my passion about education. I've worked with as a teacher trainer for 20 years, and it's just a mission for me. No, I've worked closely with Andrea now, and we've been working with these organizations such as Great Place to Study, School Day, and Aurora Education. And yes, as a personal note, Andrea was telling me we always want to know the person beyond the credentials. And I have to admit, I confess I'm a bookworm. I love photography. I'm a traveler. I love, which obviously has been something impossible to do at this time, but I travel with my imagination. I'm very curious. And it's funny, when Andrea and I met, she's a proud mother of 3 girls, and I'm a proud mother of 3 boys. So, and then she has a dog and I have a cat. So we complement each other. We always say that. So anyway, we're really excited to have you. We're glad you're joining us. We know what it is to take up a morning off, such as a Saturday, where we all want to just disconnect, and we want this session to be a recharge. So part of what we're going to do now is as something that it was very interesting. We've been working with different organizations throughout this time, Andrea and I, and I participated at a meeting with other educators, and somebody was talking about the meaning of lighthouses. And it reminded me of an experience I had when I started my Harvard specialization, where at the end of the course, we were taking it in Boston, and I had this wonderful opportunity to meeting people from all over the world. And they asked us to, when we finished, to choose an image that would help us represent what we felt had happened. The course that I was taking at that moment was the future of learning, and this was in 2011. So we had spent weeks during the summer talking about where the future of learning was going to go and what we needed to do to inspire students and all of this. And so at the end, you had to choose an image, and really funny because I chose a lighthouse. I mean, there were many different options, but the reason that I like the lighthouse is because of the symbolic idea of how a lighthouse lights us when we are at an impasse, when we can't see further ahead, and it's just a beacon, no? And we did this activity where we connected with that reflection, and it was funny because it was like a time capsule. So once you chose the image, it was a postcard, you had to write your aha moments on the back, and then they will mail it to you a year afterwards or 2 years afterwards to remind you of what you saw so clearly in 2011. And the thing is, I did receive it, which I think it's amazing that the person 2 years later still had them. And he sent it to us, and it was an amazing reminder of those aha moments. And then right now we're in 2020, and when we were talking about what this time has been for educators, for people working with teachers and students and us as in schools, and it resonated with that, and it was just a moment of saying it's true. Maybe in 9 years ago we weren't dealing with a pandemic, and we weren't dealing with all of the quarantine issues that we've had, and all this anxiety and uncertainty, but certainly there was a lot of questioning of where should education go and what should we do to drive it forward and be a true change for good. No, so what we thought of, and this is something that we want to share with you now, is we want to make a pause. We want to make a pause at the end of many of you are probably finishing up the school year. In Colombia, maybe not, because you're in a different calendar, but for many of us, we're coming to a summer break. And this summer break, we want to take it as a moment where we can reflect on everything that happened. Because all of the pandemic, it was like a storm that took us by surprise and just, wrapped us up in this so many changes and things. And sometimes we don't have time to make a pause and say, okay, what is happening? What do we want to do? So one way of participating, right, Andrea, is we're going to do it through a quick poll. Andrea is going to launch it, and I'm going to stop. I don't know if let me see. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that Andrea is going to launch it, and we would like you to take a moment and think about the questions that are going to be shared in the poll and just answer very quickly. The poll is just anonymous. We want to take a moment to see how we all feel at this wrapping of the school year, and as we look ahead for the coming year and all the things that are waiting for us. How's that poll going, Andrea?
Launching it as you speak. And here we go. Another Zoom feature that we love is polling and getting the results in real time. Awesome to use with students, awesome to use with parents, and great to keep anonymity so that participants can actually answer truthfully and authentically. We know that is very important. And we're proud to launch our first poll on Zoom. Woohoo! Awesome. So don't be shy. Give me a thumbs up if everybody sees the poll, because the poll's up there. Awesome, Kathy. Thank you for your double thumbs up. Hey. And go ahead. It's only a 4-question poll, so nothing too long. Lovely. I've gotten 5% of the poll has been answered. 2 out of 17, guys. Keep on going. Keep on going. There we go. Now there's 3. Now there's 4 out of 17. We need everybody to enter their response so that the poll can move steadily ahead, and we can have a compass as to how we're feeling and how we are looking forward together. 6 out of 17, well done. That's 35% of you guys. Keep it going, you're doing a great job. There we go, there's 7 of you now answering the poll. That makes a whooping 40%. Come on, don't be shy. 10 out of 17, yay, we've gone over 50%. Well done, keep on going. Just a few more to go and we'll be complete. There we go, 11 out of 17, that's, ooh, a nice 64%. We're still missing some of you. 5 more. 5 more for voting. 70% complete. Come on, guys, don't give up now. We're counting on you so that we can gauge and have a sense of our group emotion after lovely Yogita set the tone for us today of sharing. Don't be shy to let us know how you're feeling. Remember, it is anonymous, so nobody's going to, call on your name and say that you're feeling stressed out, God forbid. Keep on going, Belen. I see you being very curious there. You're definitely interested in the poll. I see Dina being very scholarly and very studious. So she
Dina is saying that she cannot submit. Andrea.
Oh, okay. That's a very good, somebody can't see the poll. Heather can't see it. Dina can't submit. Everybody else seems to be doing fine. Okay, so maybe that's why we're stopped at a 12 out of 17. That's a 70%. We love doing this because we're actually trying out what happens in real live classrooms, right? As you know, technology and little glitches prevent us from moving forward the way we want. Oh, Eugenia says something useful. When you finish is when you can submit. And okay, Eugenia, encouraging you to submit, go all the way down to finish it. Okay, well, we have a whopping 70% of you guys that have already voted. So I'm wondering, Gabriela, do you think we should end the poll?
Maybe, yeah.
Let's see what we have as results. We're not promising anything, guys. Remember, this is our first poll ever to be launched. So here we go. End the poll and let us share the results. Share the results. Okay. Let's go one by one. Can everybody see the screen and our sharing results page there? Just give us a thumbs up from Hitesh. Thank you for the vote of confidence from India, Hitesh. Really appreciate it. Gabi, can you see that?
Yes, don't worry.
Excellent. So why don't we look at majorities here? And guess what, guys? It's a tie between feeling optimistic and feeling okay. It's a great 33% of you that are feeling optimistic. We like that. So, maybe by the end of our session today, we'll poll again and see, and those numbers will have gone up for feeling happy. Question number 2, how have these emotions been felt, or what has predominated during the quarantine? And here we have 50%. There you go. There's a tie again between being stressed and being hopeful. Well, that balances things out, doesn't it, Gabi?
Yes, that I think it describes the feelings of everyone. We oscillate now between sometimes just being really stressed for everything that's happening, but at the same time trying to be optimistic and trust that everything will be okay.
We couldn't have planned that better, to have that 50-50 break. Well done, guys. And question number 3, what were the 2 biggest challenges facing your students during these times? And here we go again, a tie, but this is a 3, a tripartite tie. Check it out, everyone. Motivation, technology and resources, and emotional skills. All 3 of those are tied at 50% for being the top challenges that our students were facing. Very interesting. So that'll give us something to talk about in a little bit when we exit the poll. And question number 4, what were 2 of the biggest challenges facing teachers during this time, everyone? And we've got the leading answer being working in the home setting. Okay, I feel like Bob Barker at The Price is Right. So yes, working in the home setting. 58% of you said that was the biggest challenge, and followed closely in the lead by, again, technology and resources. Not a surprise. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing.
I would like to point out, when we're talking about, this is something really interesting when we talk about, we're all in different parts of the world maybe, but the universality of the experience, no? And I do think not only focusing on the highest scores, but some of the ones who were in second, maybe third place, when we talk about, in the case of teachers, yes, it's true that we noticed the part of emotional skills and technology and resources as one of the things that people struggle a lot. No, we knew technology was something that we had to be part of, but not necessarily were prepared to deal with that to this level. No, and definitely the emotional skills when dealing with things that are new, stressful. It's something that it truly comes out, and it's very difficult for us to be able to show our students to do it when we ourselves are not very sure how to handle this, no? So we were talking, and I go back a little bit to question number 3, and the challenges facing students during these times. And Andrea and I, we've been working with School Day, which is a Finland program that measures well-being, and it was very interesting because there were some schools in Mexico that were doing this, and we were so surprised. Well, not surprised necessarily, but also concerned to see that the level of anxiety and the level of isolation that many students reported was a real concern. So when we talk about emotional skills as one of the challenges, and that being one of the 3 top answers, yes, we really, I think we feel the same in the experience that we've had. And second place there, when we talk about autonomy, is definitely another issue, no? Since the dynamic changed so much, and we talked about students being at home and having to deal with many parts of their learning, that's where we noticed that an area that we need to work. So okay, so that's a poll. Let's just go back to the presentation. Give me 1 second. Here we go. And okay, you're seeing that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we've done this. I think when we're talking about taking a pause and thinking about what we've experienced, is truly just letting everything down on us and realize what it means and what should we do. No, they were putting me in the chat bar about different places like Argentina and Colombia where they have a different calendar, which we know. And even though, I mean, maybe you haven't had your summer break yet, it's important to allow us this time, and this is what we wanted to achieve in this Saturday forum, is to stop and think, okay, what do we need to do for this situation, because it is going to continue, no? And here we're tying in with the objectives of what we would like to do today. And one of it would be to reflect on our own experiences during all this quarantine time. You know, how has it been for us? What had been the most difficult things? And from that reflection, which we're going to share in a bit, then talk about or reflect on the priorities that should guide us moving forward, okay? Because of course, this has not finished, this is continuing, and we don't even know exactly how is it going to continue. So we want to think of what should we prioritize and what should we be most concerned in order for this situation to be more positive than negative in the balance, all right? And finally, we would like to take benefit of the experience of all the people that are here with us, joining us, and talk about strategies and ideas for returning to school in the next school year for us who are on a summer break, for those who are not, for you to take on the work that you're doing with your students and see what could we do different and what would work the best. So let's take advantage of everybody's experience and everybody's knowledge and figure that out. So
thanks, Gabby, for giving us all that background and for helping us analyze the poll results. I just want to quickly mention that Dina has made an interesting comment that one of the emotions that was marked in 0 or that nobody selected, being irritated or angry. And she says it's important to recognize that sometimes we relate or don't relate, and some of those emotions weren't even experienced by some of you. They had a 0%. So thank you for making us aware of that, Dina. We certainly were paying attention to the highest scored answers, but we didn't think to look at those that had a 0 percentile marking. So that makes a lot of sense, taking into account that which is a characteristic of the entire group and that which isn't also. That's a valuable comment. Thank you, Dina.
I just want to mention about that, because what I experienced in my environment is a lot of people, they were very irritated. They were not being able to accept the situation. There was a lot of resistance and they were angry. They were really angry. So I think that maybe our group, or not maybe, it's obvious that our group is very optimistic. We've been training our emotions. But in reality, what the school environment, specifically in my situation, was a lot of anger and resistance, and they don't want to work anymore, and they're very afraid about what is going to happen in August. So afraid has to do with this irritating emotion about not knowing what to do. So I think it's important to underline that.
I appreciate that comment. We do know that fear is a very powerful force that can actually paralyze someone, right? It's the not knowing and not knowing in what direction to go. That uncertainty will definitely create that anxiety. And as you said, our defense mechanism will turn that quickly into feeling irate or angered, which is why it brings us to our session today. How can we begin to scaffold these discussions with our staff that will help them to plan in terms of the experiences that have been lived and construct for being better prepared themselves and better prepared their students to face what's coming, no? So having this moment of reflection, and as Gabriela said, you know, it's a moment to really share our perspectives and in the spirit of inquiry, really be co-creators, building knowledge together from the different types of schools that have joined here. So in thinking of that, we bring you this image. I've always liked to say a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. So in leaving you with this image, the idea is to help us visualize what does it look like to you, or what comes to mind when you envision the schools reopening in 2020. We understand that that might be something of a hybrid or blended model, whereby we might be in school sometimes, we might be remote sometimes. But what do you think it will really look like? And we understand that you've been in endless meetings about creating protocols for your school, creating the standards that are going to, carry your children through safety. So just have a look at it. And if you can now really turn to the chat bar, we would really love to have a few words from you that we can share out. So this engagement is, yes, individual, like the poll, but we want you to be very verbal by way of a word or a sentence on the chat bar. Have a look. We selected, and this was a very careful selection of 3 images. I don't want to spoil or give in the school or the places they come from, but if you look very carefully, and as we tell our students, this is an exercise more than in looking, in observing. Look at the details, look at the protagonists in each picture, and look at what is surrounding them, and look at their actions. Are there adults in the picture? What is the setting like? And what things have been introduced that are different, similar, what remains the same, and what has changed, and what is your appreciation of that? So maybe be very descriptive when you analyze the images. I see some comments coming in. I'm very thankful for that. We know that the more we get from you, the more we learn about ourselves and each other. So, okay, I missed a couple points here. One from Kathy earlier. It says that she said she was chiming in with Dina about the feeling irate or anger. And she said she sees that parents feel like that a lot, going back to the uncertainty of things. Yeah, thank you, Kathy, for that comment. Thank you, Gabby.
Kathy was also saying that when you started talking to teachers and some were crying because they feel emotional and sad about our current reality. I think that's true, Kathy. I think everybody feels very ambivalent, no? It's been hard, it's been a difficult year. We don't know what's going to happen maybe for the following year. And yes, for teachers, it's I think they're even more emotional because of all the load they had to carry and the responses that they had to give. And it's just right now that they're starting to look ahead towards the break, and it's just, you let emotions catch up with you, no?
Thanks, Gabby, about the emotions bit and how we become, our role becomes containing the emotions and redirecting them. Jenny Jenner from Cuernavaca is saying that this is where we are focusing our efforts now on creativity, how to think differently. Closing the school year, at the same time, we're thinking ahead. So we are living the present moment, yet being great planners and looking forward to what's to come. Thank you for that. Oh, this is a very nice one about the images shared. I have Claudia, who's joined from her iPhone. Awesome for you, Claudia, welcome. She says that we should try to keep our schools safe, but also keep the nature of the school. So not lose the essence of our school. And that is a tricky thing, right? When we're transforming through this unknown and uncertain time. So thank you, Claudia. And we've got Kathy to everyone. We started talking to teachers, some cried. You've talked about this one, Gabby, very well. Okay, Priscilla, she's being very descriptive here. She sees face masks and shields, still very traditional classroom setting, yet there is some social distancing. Gabby, did you stop sharing the image?
Yes, just 1 second.
Okay. Okay, Mari Carmen Diaz, she says useless, okay? And Eugenia Jenner sees, I see complete classrooms. Claudia again says, teachers and students want to come back, but parents are afraid. Diego says, we are planning for 2 options, 100% online, most parents will choose this option, and 100% on campus if legally possible. Because with most online, this group would be much smaller and allow physical distancing. It is not our ideal, but rather our reality. So here's a lot about agency and leaving parents to make tough decisions, and the school being in the middle and wanting to cater to both mindsets, I would say, yes. So that takes a lot of work on the school end to ensure this biosafety issue in order to convince them that it may be best to come back to the brick and mortar as we know it. Dina, to everyone, the student number in the classroom seems to be large. Students are very close to each other, and I'm considering having less numbered groups. Yes, we take it from the picture on the top right-hand corner. The students are very close together, and if you look carefully, they've been divided by these screens. They're face masks, but they're aligned, as somebody said, in a very traditional room. The desks remain in a line. It's almost like a factory setting where the students are the little workers. This picture, let me reveal to you, it does come all the way from across the border from China. It's actually a picture taken in a school in Wuhan, yes? Diego, we have to give the community emotional support because again, it's our reality and parents and children still deserve the best learning experience we can offer. Yeah, that is completely true. Thank you, Diego. I've got Mauricio again from an iPhone. Welcome, Mauricio. Mauricio is talking about the vaccine. When available, will change the entire picture. Correct. I think we're all counting on that. Eugenia, the principal from China, shared with us that he was surprised from the high attendance of the students. And thank you, Eugenia. And we've got Christy. She is actually in China. Welcome from Shanghai again, Christy. She says that we've been back in school with virus prevention and control processes for 2 months already. We extended the school year with 2 weeks of free summer school, and now we are finally on a well-deserved vacation. Thank you for sharing that from Shanghai, Christy, and welcome to our group. Mari Carmen, I believe that eventually everyone will get the virus, so it's practically impossible to keep kids apart from each other. Yes, that's very well put. And many, many more.
I love how Christy comments on that, actually they do have these practitioners in the lunchroom and the students talk under the table.
Yes,
And I think it connects to the comment that somebody said that it was useless, no? In the sense that we're trying to control something that we know that when we're dealing with children is all the best plans, not necessarily work out as we think. No?
Yeah.
So definitely.
Leave it to the kids to find a way around it, no? Christy, go ahead. I can hear that you unmuted yourself. Please comment.
We have to have the protocols in place in order to run our campus, and we have very strict government guidelines, which has been very helpful because the Chinese government has been very careful to follow evidence-based research on what is effective virus control and prevention efforts. But it's interesting because, kids are kids and we're human beings and we're social. So we're a PYP school, we're an IB World school. And so we see in our classrooms that we have the protocol set, but yet they're a little bit more relaxed and loose in the classroom setting, but we all have masks in the lunchroom, in our lines, 4 temperature checks a day. Those things are the protocols that we're very strict with. And then we also have very strict protocol. The Chinese government is providing free COVID testing for any kid with a fever. And we have temperature checks 4 times a day. And if a parent has a child with a fever at home, they're also supposed to take them to the fever clinic. It's all free, it's all paid for. So there's a lot of support in place, a lot of emphasis placed on making sure those protocols are followed. Yeah, but in the lunchroom, it's a little bit sad. It's definitely behavior-wise, it's a lot easier because the kids are all partitioned and physical distanced apart, but they do talk under the table. So it's really cute to see like just different ways that the kids are still interacting in natural ways.
It sounds
Of
like
course.
the PYP, right? Those little ones crawling around, the elementary school children.
Connecting with what one of you was saying in the chat bar, I think I found this image and I just wanted to share really quickly. They were saying something about how we need to support teachers because it's been an emotional time. And these images, they just, I saved them and I was sharing them with Andrea because people are posting on Facebook how they feel about what everything is going on. No? So they have this idea of this, they don't know what's going to happen, you know? That's why we have that one of, please be prepared to teach online, in person, both simultaneously on a moving train while juggling, no? In a burning building, under the sea, during a wrestling match. I mean, they don't know what's going to happen. So that, and that's kind of reflected on the image of the wave coming at them and just about to swallow them up, no? And definitely a little about how they feel that they haven't received this information to be prepared. That's why it's a little like the first one says, you know, we don't know much. What we do know, we can't really tell you, and everything's going to change. So make a plan. No? So it's just, that's something that I think what you're all saying, you know, when we try to envision what's going to happen, is kind of difficult. And certainly there are emotional aspects that we need to keep in mind, as someone was writing on those comments. I don't know if there are more comments. Or
Yeah, we
continue
can
with
move on to the next slide, I think, because what I see that most of you are mentioning here, and what we like to call them, are the usual suspects, correct? As we think of the pictures that we saw, and going back to the brick and mortar, these issues of biosecurity, as you see from the word cloud, the word Apple in this case, they're enlarged, those big words: biosecurity, the masks, the social distancing, the schedules, the washing of the hands. To what capacity can we, you know, bring students back into the school, and the safety, all these protocols from CDC that we're keeping track of. And Belen says here that protocols in Argentina are still, they're still awaiting them, the official ones anyway, because we know that each school has dealt with their own protocols and has hashed them out and talked them over and over again. So these are our usual suspects, but we're here today to talk about something a lot deeper than that. These usual suspects that bring us to think about logistics. Beyond logistics, what we want us to consider today